You're listening to Protecting What Matters by the Ohio Department of Commerce. Commerce is Ohio's chief regulator, and we play a vital role in keeping you safe by protecting your property, your money, and some of the products you use every day. This is designed to bring awareness to important issues and help educate consumers and businesses. Join us as we chat with trusted industry experts focused on providing you with the tools you need to help you protect what matters most in your life.
What would happen if there was a fire in your home, your business, or somewhere in your community? What would happen if no one responded?
We believe that there are many individuals within the state of Ohio who are really unaware that of this significant need for volunteer firefighters. And many of them do not realize that they have the ability to volunteer. Today, that lack of awareness, we hope, will begin to change as these PSAs and advertisements begin to appear on TV screens, computer screens, and mobile devices across our state.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Protecting What Matters. I'm your host, Jared Clay, Public Information Officer for the Ohio Department of Commerce. Currently, Ohio is experiencing an alarming trend. The number of volunteer firefighters is decreasing, while the number of calls they're receiving is increasing. What makes this more concerning is that more than 2/3 of Ohio's fire service are provided by volunteer fire departments. In response to this trend, the Ohio State Fire Marshal is encouraging Ohioans to step up and serve their communities by becoming volunteer firefighters. As part of this outreach effort, the division recently launched a statewide PSA Make Me a Firefighter campaign to promote the volunteer fire service. Let's listen to two PSAs which are titled Make Me a Firefighter Ohio and Find the Firefighter in You.
The largest portion of fire departments are volunteer. I don't think there is any one thing that draws you to it.
I just love helping people. I've always, been about spreading kindness, and I think as a job, it's a lot of what the fire service is.
It's a very fulfilling job. It's very satisfying. You can really see directly how you're helping people.
You have that close tie to the actual community. I owe everything to being a volunteer. As a volunteer firefighter, you don't save people every day. You just come in and you make somebody's bad day better.
You really see the ways that you're helping people as you're doing it.
I actually volunteered my hours here. Coming in, getting to drive the trucks, helping people. I love it. Every day, I get to go hang out with some of my best friends and to make people's lives better. You know somebody has to be there, and you want it to be you.
To talk more about this campaign and outreach efforts happening with the Ohio State Fire Marshal's Office is Ken Clouda, Special Projects Coordinator with the State Fire Marshal's Office. Thanks for joining us today, Ken.
Thanks for having me on.
So to help us get started, can you just provide a little bit of an overview of the role volunteer firefighters play in the state's emergency services and in their communities?
So with the volunteer fire service across Ohio, they also provide, besides firefighting, they can have EMS role. They can have a hazardous materials type response. They can be there helping with car accidents. So it's not just firefighting that they would do. It's a whole lot of different items that they could be participating in at any given time throughout their communities.
And can you talk about some of the challenges and the impacts that these volunteer firefighters in Ohio have?
So some of the challenges that they have is time. A lot of the volunteer firefighters in Ohio have full-time careers elsewhere, and then they have to devote their time and effort and energy, most of the time free of charge, to their communities to be able to provide that impact that they have when they go in and fight these fires, provide the EMS services and everything we discussed. So the impact on that is there's potentially calls missed. And sometimes that's a major issue, right? Like if there's a fire going on, those mere seconds of somebody being able to respond when you call 911 to say we have a fire could be the difference between somebody living and unfortunately dying in a fire. So that's the ultimate major impact that might be happening from this.
And with that, Here at the Division of State Fire Marshal, we provide a lot of resources, a lot of support. Can you talk about some of those that we provide for these volunteer firefighters?
Right. So since we've seen that decrease in fire service across the board, and the budgets that are very small in these communities and these places where these volunteer firefighters are, we've been able to provide some grant programs to assist with their training. We are providing free training here at the Fire Marshal's office through our Ohio Fire Academy to any volunteer firefighter and any volunteer fire service that's out there.
Now, these volunteer firefighters, you touched on it, they're not only serving the community, they're serving the community that they live in. Like, they are part of this community. Can you talk a little bit about how communities, these fire departments, they can all work together to help make the volunteer firefighting more sustainable?
So with that, there's a lot of different things that can be done. It's up to each community to decide the impact that's there. Obviously, being able to have a better tax base for these communities, because you need some sort of funding source to come in. You need to be able to put fuel in those vehicles. Vehicles get old, you need to be able to get new vehicles. Equipment that they wear, the turnout gear, that has a date that expires too. So being able to fund those are ways that these communities can help with that. And also being a part of the fire service itself, joining that. You don't have to be a firefighter to be doing this, right? You can decide that you can help out by being there and helping with washing a car, cleaning out the vehicle, helping out by being somebody who knows how to use a website and be able to promote the fire department itself. There's a whole lot of different things in there that can be done that the community themselves and the folks living in that community can do to help their firefighters and their volunteer fire service.
I think it's a great point that you just mentioned. It kind of set a light bulb off for me. As you hear volunteer fire departments, all you think about are firefighters, but there's a whole support staff behind the scenes
Absolutely.
to make that a possibility.
Absolutely.
So that's, if you want to learn more about that or becoming a volunteer firefighter, head to our website, com.ohio.gov/MMAF, short for Make Me a Firefighter. That's com.ohio.gov/MMAF. You can check out the PSAs we've talked about and learn all about the Make Me a Firefighter campaign. Coming up next, we're going to talk about an upcoming outreach event for the whole family, where you can learn about everything from fire prevention tips to how you can become a firefighter yourself. You're listening to Protecting What Matters.
Thanks for listening to Protecting What Matters. Cryptocurrency continues to be in the news. Stories of crypto millionaires have attracted some investors to try their hand at investing in cryptocurrencies or crypto-related investments. Our Division of Securities attorney, John Criss, reminds you that investing in cryptocurrency products can be risky.
And so if you are getting involved into a cryptocurrency investment, you need to be aware that it's oftentimes not based on, the valuation is oftentimes not based on the cash flow being produced, but in reality it's just being based on some appreciation of the price that you hope will happen and may not. So it gets back to, we want people to be aware of the risks of these investments and be aware of what they're getting themselves into before they get into it.
For more information and tips on investing, visit com.ohio.gov.
Welcome back to Protecting What Matters. In our previous segment, we talked about the major statewide outreach recruiting effort now underway to increase Ohio's volunteer firefighters. Now, in this segment, we're going to change gears a little bit and talk about a special outreach event that the Division of State Fire Marshal is hosting for Ohioans of all ages. On Saturday, September 14th, the division is hosting the Ohio Fire Marshal Festival on its campus in Reynoldsburg, and all Ohioans are invited to attend. This free, family fun, and fire safety educational event will take place from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is the perfect event to finish off the summer season. So be sure to mark your calendars for September 14th. And to learn more, you can visit our website, com.ohio.gov/Fire Marshal Festival. Now, Ken, what can we expect from this Fire Marshal Festival this year?
So this is our year back after having 1 year off because we had major construction going on the campus. So we are going to have things for everybody. We're going to have inflatable houses. We're going to have the face painting. We're going to have antique fire trucks here. We're going to have some food vendors on hand. Going to land a couple helicopters so people can go see what it's like for the partners that we have out there for aeromedical transportation. We're going to have our canines out there doing some demonstrations on when they're looking for accelerants, doing demonstrations there. And we're going to have a one and done because you can only do this once, but we're going to have a side-by-side burn demonstrating how effective residential fire sprinklers can be in your homes.
There's something in there for everybody, from the youngest to the oldest in the family. In addition to these activities and educational demonstrations, going back to our earlier discussion regarding volunteer firefighter recruitment, I imagine this is a great opportunity for people to learn more about that and how they can become a volunteer firefighter.
Absolutely. I didn't even touch upon all the different partners we're having to provide some of our education that we have during this day. So a couple of the things we have with that, we have folks from the Ohio Firefighters Association are going to be here. They'll be able to talk about what it's like to become a firefighter. We're going to have individuals from the Ohio Society of Fire Service Instructors. So they'll be able to talk about things there. We're going to have folks also here from the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association. So if you already are a member of a fire department, you want to advance your career a little bit more, they'll be able to talk to you about that. We will have some individuals from Central Ohio Technical College to talk about their programs that they have for the fire service personnel. And we'll have individuals from all over our bureaus here at the Marshal's office. So if people are interested in a career outside of the volunteering even, but they want to be a part of their community in some way, shape, or form, there's a bunch of different ways that we can get to talk to them there.
And again, we're talking about the Ohio Fire Marshal Festival that's going to be at the State Fire Marshal's campus in Reynoldsburg on Saturday, September 14th. It's free. Everyone's encouraged to attend. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You talked about it a little bit, but can you talk about some more of the activities that are going to take place? You mentioned the canines, helicopters. It sounds like a little bit of everything.
It is truly a little bit of everything. Like I said, so we have some of those inflatable bounce houses, so some of the little ones can get their energy out. Mom, dads, grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, everybody in between can get a break. We'll be able to have some of the items from the fire marshal's office themselves from fire prevention talking about some fire extinguisher training so people can know and feel comfortable using a fire extinguisher. This one's neat. It's digital, so we can show off that, and it can be used anywhere, which is really awesome. So those are a couple things that we have available to us.
Yeah, the simulator, if you haven't seen it, head to our Instagram, Ohio Commerce. We had it at the Ohio State Fair, and it was a hit. We had some state troopers over there checking it out. It was really cool, very unique tool. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, it's free. So come on out.
It's free.
We've talked about community engagement. So how does a festival like this aim to engage Ohioans and the community and overall just kind of foster this greater understanding of the fire services?
So the nice part about this is that we offer this up as a way for people to come see what we do here on our campus. People drive by our building all the time and they don't know what goes on here. So we open up our doors once a year so people can understand what we do here at the Marshal's office. So our local community within the area knows what we're doing. And then, again, we promote the rest of the state of Ohio's fire service by discussing the trends that are occurring. The one we're seeing right now, like we've been continuing to talk about, is that volunteer fire service and how it's losing members left and right. So those are things that we'll be able to do to talk about those different things.
And you mentioned last year a little bit of a hiatus because of construction. The year before, it was a big success. Had a big turnout.
It was very big.
So we hope to see you on September 14th. It's an amazing event. It's free. Kids are going back to school. Maybe some are already back in school, but going back to school soon. So this is a really great way to kick off or to end the summer, And Ohio State, it's an off week. So what else are you going to do? Come on out.
Come on down.
Hang out with us at the Ohio State Fire Marshal Festival, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, again, head over to our website. That's com.ohio.gov/Fire Marshal Festival. That's com.ohio.gov/Fire Marshal Festival. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You're listening to Protecting What Matters.
Thanks for listening to Protecting What Matters from the Ohio Department of Commerce. We are your resource for all safety information for your home or business. Here's a quick safety message reminder from the Ohio State Fire Marshal's office.
So smoke alarms, we want to make sure we're putting those on each level of the house. Each bedroom that you're at, where anybody sleeps, put that inside that bedroom, and then outside where the people sleep. They're important because what you typically have is that early activation, early notification of something happening, in this case smoke building up, and that usually is what tells you that there's a fire happening. So having those placed in those locations that are appropriate, making sure that you're checking the alarms themselves about once a month just to make sure that they're working, change the batteries on them, we like to say twice a year right now, and then after 10 years, those entire alarms are going to need replaced.
For more information on the State Fire Marshal, visit our website at com.ohio.gov/fire.
It's your money, come and claim it. The Ohio Department of Commerce Division of Unclaimed Funds is safeguarding nearly $4 billion in unclaimed funds. So there's a good chance you or someone you know has money waiting to be claimed. Just head over to our website, unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov, to search for your name, the name of a family member, or a loved one to see if you have an unclaimed fund. Welcome back to Protecting What Matters. I'm Jared Clay, Public Information Officer for the Ohio Department of Commerce, joined by Ken Clouda, Special Projects Coordinator with the Division of State Fire Marshal. We've been discussing 2 outreach initiatives with the Ohio Fire Service, the Ohio Fire Marshal Festival happening on September 14th, and the recently launched Make Me a Firefighter statewide PSA campaign to encourage more Ohioans to serve their communities and become volunteer firefighters. Ken, we talked earlier about the Make Me a Firefighter campaign and other outreach efforts to improve recruiting in the volunteer fire service. What information do fire departments or municipalities need to know if their community is in need of adding members to their fire departments or just bolstering their department as a whole?
So the fire departments should go to that Make Me a Firefighter website that we discussed. There is a place where they can put in their fire department's information, the need that they have, and then have it published so that anybody who does a search and honestly just puts in a zip code, they can search within a certain set of miles for an opportunity to volunteer. And if your department's information is there, you're going to have a higher success of being able to find somebody. So that's one of the ways that we can do that. The other part of this is we do have a volunteer fire service coordinator here for the state of Ohio. His name's Josh Lewis. So would be good opportunity to get in touch with him at some point in time. We can get your phone number for him and an email address for him that anybody can find that they can ask any questions they might have to be able to help with their recruitment efforts.
And that website you mentioned is com.ohio.gov/MMAF. Again, com.ohio.gov/MMAF. There you can find all kinds of information, resources, the PSAs that we've talked about. Another great way that they can find information, again, come to the Fire Marshal Festival on September 14th. It's a great time to talk to someone one-on-one, get information. We mentioned it earlier, all kinds of resources from different organizations and areas going to be there. We've talked a lot about volunteer fire service, and I think one thing that many people may not understand is how much of the state's fire service has a volunteer component. It's
yes.
like 2/3 of fire departments have some kind of
absolutely
volunteer aspect to it, right?
Yes. So we have about 1,180 fire departments across Ohio, and in some way, shape, or form, there are volunteers in, like you said, about 2/3 of those departments. And this doesn't necessarily mean that we're talking about straight up firefighting. Again, what we've talked about here is that they volunteer their time by giving back. Something as simple as they're there to do the pancake breakfasts, the chicken dinners, whatever we have going on to be able to raise additional funding. These fire departments do. They've got some members that's all they do. Their community gets involved that way, and they help give back by being a part of it in that way. So anything from firefighting down to a volunteer that's out there making sure that they're feeding their community during their special events.
And again, we keep harping on it, but a great way to learn more about this, whether you want to be a firefighter or just be able to help one of these departments, come out to the State Fire Marshal Festival on September 14th on the campus of the Division of State Fire Marshal in Reynoldsburg. There's going to be a lot of great opportunities for you to speak to someone if you want to get involved. So, Ken, thank you a lot for coming on again. We've covered a lot from the Make Me a Firefighter campaign to the Fire Marshal Festival that's coming up. Is there anything else that you would like to add about any of those or anything going on here at State Fire Marshal that you want people to know about?
So the best thing is to actually, if you want to know what we're doing on a regular basis, to visit our website, to be honest with you. That's where we convey a lot of our information. On our homepage, we have usually about every 2 weeks, we change up a topic. And that's where people can see what we're doing and what's happening. And it's not necessarily just for the fire service, but for any of the population within Ohio to be able to see what we have going on. So again, that one is simple. That's com.ohio.gov/fire. And then that way you can see what we're doing, and you can take a look at our different bureaus and see what they have going on and the different projects we are doing throughout the entire time here at the Fire Marshal's office.
And another great way, Ohio Fire Marshal Festival, September 14th.
There you
Come
go.
out. There's going to be, we've talked about it quite a bit. There's going to be a lot for everybody in the family. You like the trucks, there's going to be a touch of truck. You like canines, who doesn't like canines, right? There's going to be demos. Get to meet Sparky.
Get to meet Sparky.
Always a fan favorite.
Sparky's going to be there. And then Boots, the fire mouse from the Central Ohio Fire Museum, is going to be there. We might even see, the mouse himself, Minnie might show up. We don't know.
I've heard some rumors.
We might see them,
Yeah.
so that could be fun.
Of course, there's going to be bounce houses, food trucks. Talked about a little bit, helicopter landings, fire safety demonstration. And again, that's going to be at the Fire Marshal Festival, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the State Fire Marshal's office in Reynoldsburg. For more information on that, head over to our website, com.ohio.gov/Fire Marshal Festival. That's com.ohio.gov/Fire Marshal Festival. We hope to see you there. We're all excited about it. It's going to be a great event. Of course, we want to help you remain fire safe every day. And as your trusted government agency, all of our fire safety resources are available online at com.ohio.gov/fire. That's com.ohio.gov/fire. Thanks for listening to Protecting What Matters.